Elon should just buy Apple, or Apple should just buy Tesla and put Elon as CEO. The fact that they lost on this AI race.
I think they had like a 10-year head start with Siri.
They need to acquire Grok and Elon and so on just to be shot in there.
Honestly, if you're not using AI yet, you're doing massive disservice to yourself.
Being able to speak to the AI, like prompt engineering, is going to be the #1 requested skill. All those liberal arts degrees may actually pay off. Remember when you said bang bang? Remember back in the day?
Bang bang. I've lost a lot of those. I don't drink as much on the podcast. I don't say bang bang anymore.
Dude,
I don't start every episode with sup freaks.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're killing it. And the old school Marty was killing it. New school Marty is killing it even more. I remember way back in the day, it was bang bang was your line. That's when we did the clap. Remind me of that.
Bang bang. We would that was a college hang on. That was one of the things my college groups would say. We'd be like bang bang, and then became a tick on the podcast. But yeah,
now we got kids, and by the way, funny enough, so you're both your boys. Do you coach any of their teams? Are they playing any sports right now or no?
The oldest playing T-ball.
Okay. I got a good T-ball stuff.
I do not coach, but I'm a very big sport. I go to practice.
Okay, good.
And I should practice tomorrow night. Yeah.
So I pushed myself, and I forget if we did this on the last episode or talked about this, but I raised my hand, or I'm raising my hand and have raised my hand for every single of my kids' sporting activities to either coach, assistant coach, or be the lead volunteer. And now I'm coaching 1 T-ball team, 2 soccer teams, and I just finished up like being the lead parent on the girls basketball team. Anyways, I say all that. It's like it's a forcing function to show up, because if you're the coach, you have to show up. Mm-hmm. But if you're like just a parent, like, oh, I can just drop them off, or I won't be there at all the practices. Anyways, right before we recorded, I got this email to all the parents from the league officials of our T-ball team. I mean, and I think our boys are the same age. Mine's 4 years. This one's 4 years old. And it's like, I'm so disappointing in the parents' behavior. You guys are like, X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like dying. He wrote this like 9-paragraph email.
What are you guys tailgating at the T-ball games?
So I don't think it's because it goes T-ball all the way up to like 6th grade Little League. Mm-hmm. So I think it's probably the older kids and the older parents. And so I'm making it a little bit more competitive. I mean, if I can get these kids just to hit the ball, it's a win. Yeah. Right. So anyways, it just shows.
We've progressed to the point of the season where a pure out is a big win.
Okay.
Or if you field a ground ball and throw it to first before the runner gets there, that's
a win.
That's more impactful than scoring a run, because everybody scores a run in T-ball.
Oh, we don't even count scores.
There's no scores being counted, but like everybody you hit, you get on base. Like even if you get thrown out, you stay on base. Yeah. Everybody runs around. So the side stat that the dads are watching is a pure outplay.
I respect. And some of these kids can freaking smack the ball.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, hey. That's another thing, especially with my brain. It's like we were just talking about AI stuff. I delete pretty much everything that doesn't need to be stored in memory, because I just depend on any of these AI stuff just to like query the information and get it near term to me. But kids' names, I'm like storing it in deep memory so I can rattle off like from Hunter, Hill, like all the kids' names. But these kids can freaking hit the ball.
They can. And on that point, I was actually after church yesterday, after Easter Mass, we were walking around, and we go to Mass the church my kids go to school at, and I'm bad with names. Like this job, having conversations, 600 plus episodes.
Nice.
Meeting company founders, investors, like so many names. And I'm like, I made a point after Mass yesterday when I couldn't remember somebody's name. I was like, I actually want to use AI to like get like a picture of the kids' class, ideally their parents too, and just like do like a memory game once a week of face and name association.
So if we can just brainstorm on this, because I love this stuff, creating, it's all about the systems, right? So the output or a gamification is that quiz game or card game, which I completely agree with. I have not cracked the code on a great personal CRM. So for example, yeah, exactly. My son's T-ball team, the parents, the names, there's now 17 names there. My daughter's soccer team, it's 18 girls for 5v5, by the way, which is hilarious. And then my other son's soccer team, I think, is like 13 boys, and boys and girls. And there's a way through an AI agent, I'm pretty sure, I'm very, very sure, where you can have an interface with like WhatsApp or whatever. Then it can go into an Airtable, right, that you create. Then you could just query that Airtable, and you can actually take pictures and be like, hey, discern these people's pictures, put them into a table with their names and so on. Here's the names. And then you can get that information pretty much seamlessly done input wise, and then output, you pretty much can extract that name or information in real time as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Apple made, that was like the Apple AI commercials.
Dude, Apple shit the bed so bad.
It really did.
It's unbelievable.
But it's like but you can make the the commercial. Are you familiar with it?
No.
So it was the girl from the show on HBO, the zombie show or whatever. She was the lead actress in the commercial. And she's basically like, Siri, I met this guy 2 weeks ago at this place. What's his name? And Siri like automatically populates. Oh, that's Joe.
Absolutely not. Siri does not.
Yeah.
Siri cannot even get like the weather local. I'm flying to Austin this morning. I'm like, what's the weather in Austin? And it's just like, could not even get that information back to me.
No.
It's freaking so
But you
bad.
can build these systems yourselves.
Totally.
We're vibe coding at Bitcoin Park, Austin.
We are vibe coding.
Are they vibe coding as hard in Nashville as we are here?
I think they are as well. I think both places, especially, I'll say this now with Bitcoin Park Austin, the density of developers, engineers, and entrepreneurs here in Austin, Texas is unbelievable. Straight up. February 1, when we, started this project and converting from Commons to Bitcoin Park Austin, I was so impressed and astonished by how many Bitcoiners there are just like in this Austin area. It's like you have a full deck of cards here. Where like in Nashville now we do have a prominent scene and like it's awesome. But when we started, there was just like nobody really there that was a Bitcoiner. Then Matt came, and then a couple other people came. Then all of a sudden it started like growing and growing. But here you guys got a full deck and it's been awesome.
Yeah. I feel extremely fortunate and lucky. Like you just saw little interactions I have with Tony. I'm like, hey, I'm vibe coding. Like, is this the right prompt? And he's like, yeah, fix this. Like, it's a cheat code for me personally.
Exactly. And so where I see Bitcoin Park, Austin, Nashville, so we have the physical places, which are unbelievable. Just to have that spontaneous collisions, right? Of Tony's here, Mark's is here, and you're working on something. And honestly, like, I think you're serious about this opportunity cost idea. I hope I'm not.
We won't get too far into it. You can tease the name.
But I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think more and more of these, and not to go on a complete tangent, but like as people are debating, especially coming out of high school, what to do with their lives, I hope a lot of people think and are able to create some simple small businesses, right, that can scale pretty quickly and they get money in their pocket to the point where they're like, what the opportunity cost of me going and paying all this money to go to college versus me just concentrating on building this out. Let me spend my gap year and just build a business. And hopefully that compounds and continues to go and go and go, which would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, we just had an example of the guy who created the macro tracking app, Cal.ai, I think it's called.
Okay.
He blew up on X a couple of weeks ago because he was, he basically got rejected from all the top.
Oh, I saw that thread.
All the top universities. It's like, bro, you created one of the most popular apps of the last year. Like, you do not need to go to college.
What's that test where it's like you see the same thing but you interpret it differently? It's like
it's not a Rorschach test.
Yeah, Rorschach. Yeah, Rorschach. Yeah. So I read that tweet and I read it as like badass. Like, oh man, this is so awesome. You found it, even though you got rejected, you took that as a chip on your shoulder and you just started something and did it. And then the other people were like, some people were saying just like negating higher education for some reason or something along those lines. But yeah, I didn't really follow that.
I don't think the university as it stands today, is going to exist in the same state when our kids are in college. I don't think that's a bad thing either. I think
It's not.
it's very uncomfortable for people right now, because universities are getting a lot of warranted blowback due to DEI policies, admissions policies, and more recently the endowment story.
Competition is a beautiful thing. That one high school student competing, deciding whether he or she should go to college or start a business, or UATX, unbelievable stuff that is right across the street from here.
I've been spending a lot of time there the last 2 weeks. It's really impressive what they're doing.
So freaking lucky. So freaking lucky. You guys have that here. I mean, Joe Lonsdale, I believe, is one of the founders of that place, with Anthony Rosario and those folks. Just, they did the Satoshi papers. I don't know if you were here for that.
I was there for the morning last Wednesday. Yeah.
That was so well attended. Like, it seems like they get it from a university standpoint, and they're also leaning into the Bitcoin area, which makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. If your endowment doesn't have Bitcoin in it, you may want to think about it.
Yeah.
You may want to think about it. Listen, freaks, I know you're tired of me talking about Fold, but I'm going to beat the drum. I'm going to beat the dead horse. If you're a Bitcoiner living in the United States and you're not using Fold, I'm just going to ask one question. What are you doing? You're leaving sats on the table. They've got gift cards. They've got their debit card. You can use your credit card. Just connect your credit card to the Fold app. Use the Fold app to pay off your credit card, and you're going to stack your credit card points and Bitcoin as well. They even teamed up with Crowd Health to give their members Fold Plus membership at no cost. Don't leave sats on the table. Go sign up for Fold today. Go to tftc.io/fold. There's nothing to lose except sats that you could have stacked. Sup, freaks? This rip of TFTC was brought to you by our good friends at Bitkey. Bitkey makes Bitcoin easy to use and hard to lose. It is a hardware wallet that natively embeds into a 2 or 3 multi-sig. You have one key on the hardware wallet, one key on your mobile device, and Block stores a key in the cloud for you. This is an incredible hardware device for your friends and family, or maybe yourself, who have Bitcoin on exchanges and have for a long time, but haven't taken the step to self-custody because they're worried about the complications of setting up a private public key pair, securing that seed phrase, setting up a PIN, setting up a passphrase. Again, Bitkey makes it easy to use, hard to lose. It's the easiest 0 to 1 step, your first step to self-custody. If you have friends and family on the exchanges who haven't moved it off, tell them to pick up a Bitkey. Go to bitkey.world, use the key TFTC20 at checkout for 20% off your order. That's bitkey.world, code TFTC20. Specifically over the last month, Peter Thiel had a lecture series there. It was a 4-part lecture series. I was able to make the first part and the third part. So I went both Wednesday nights, and it was just really... It
was just open? You can go to Peter Thiel's?
It was invite. I got put on a list and invited. And,
I like it.
It was really interesting. I talked to a lot of students there, incredibly engaging. Like, I'm very excited for them. But beyond that, like, obviously the Satoshi paper symposium that they had last Wednesday, but I think what finally clicked for me is just the concentration, which you alluded to, of talent in this city. It's in not only the concentration of talent, but the concentration of individuals open to exploring new things, whether it's Bitcoin, university models, whatever it may be.
So not only like the density of talent between developers, engineers, and entrepreneurs in Austin, what's really nice is like across all Texas as well. So I don't know how many people I've met now from Dallas, Houston, West Texas, Round Rock, like all of these different pockets, and they're developing their own like little Bitcoin ecosystems in those areas as well, which is just, in Nashville, we pretty much have Nashville. There's not really a big Memphis scene. There's some scene in Chattanooga, but not to the level that we have in Nashville. But it feels like in Texas, at least, there's a bunch of amazing pockets that are happening. Like Mario, really love that guy from Giga. He's crushing it in Houston and doing that scene over there. There's a number of folks in Dallas. The guy that runs the Round Rock meetup, Jason, he's killing it. He was just we hosted Grouse Roots Bitcoin at Bitcoin Park, Nashville 2 weeks ago. It was... You were missed. We had about 50 plus meetup organizers from all over the US, and we just jammed for a good day. It was good.
Yeah. And it's Bitcoin touches everything. It's beginning to expand. That was cool to see. Speaking of Tony, like him and Justin spinning up the AI meetup,
Dude.
Socratic style AI meetup here. They did it. Like I walked over, I was like, "What are you guys doing tonight?" They're like, "Oh, we're actually throwing an AI meetup here." I was like, "Thanks for letting me know." They're like, "Oh, we just announced like an hour ago."
Yeah. So this is, and I hope this doesn't sound like I'm shilling Bitcoin Park, but this is one of the coolest reasons to start a physical third space is like Justin and Anthony had just messaged in our group chat, like, hey, is it cool with like a little less than 48 hours notice? Like, is it cool after the Satoshi papers, we run the AI Austin meetup? I'm like, down, no problem. Just, we have a 1 hour buffer between those people flipping out, you guys flipping in. They said it went great. And now it looks like they're not only going to do a Socratic once a month, they're going to also do a demo and workshop once a month. So they're going to have 2 high quality AI focused meetups. And it reminds me of the days when Steve Myers in Nashville, finally, because I really wanted a BitDevs there. And he was like, hey, I'll run BitDevs here. We'll call it Nash BitDevs. I'm like, absolutely. Here are the keys. Here's our meetup page. Have at it. What are the resources you need? Let's go and make it happen. And super low lift, but the key is you need the leader of that area. You or I can't just continue to lead all of them, or I would be a fake. I don't know what the right word is, but like it wouldn't have the same
A LARP, as the kids are calling it.
I'm a LARP in a lot of things, but like that would be a major LARP. Yeah, it wouldn't have the same je ne sais quoi. So like for those 2 guys, especially Justin, to get that energy back in the room, I don't think he started BitDevs, but it was one of the main leaders early on of Austin BitDevs.
No, he started it.
He
did the first one at the library.
Oh, sick. Then yeah, exactly. And so taking that energy, and that goes again to the depth of the talent that is here. So where I see or can see like a Bitcoin Park Austin or Bitcoin Park Nashville, or just in general, is the convergence between all of these amazing innovations. So you see Bitcoin, AI, energy. Those are going to be the 3 areas of focus as it relates to Bitcoin Park. I could see over the next 5 years, and I'm going to spend, and this is all this like areas like I really care about. Like we got the Texas Energy Mining Summit coming up May 6th and 7th. Like the energy focus is going to be insane there. But there's a little touch of AI HPC there. Obviously, Bitcoin's a big component of it. But you're going to see that seep out to all these other areas within Bitcoin as well. Payments, global and grassroots Bitcoin adoption, AI in Bitcoin. What a freaking time to be alive for us.
Yeah. No, it does feel like they're converging AI and Bitcoin specifically, whether it's on the energy side or I think more and more on the technical. That's why I'm very excited that Anthony and Justin are starting this meetup, because I was saying, like I'm showing Anthony, like I'm vibe coding, like I need help. I need this reassurance too. And like the meetup, and just thinking back to my early days of going to BitDevs in New York City, the first one I went to, like incredible, immense amount of imposter syndrome, and just stomached it, had no idea about 90% of the conversation, but kept going year after year.
You learn a new tool. You learn something new from this person. And then all of a sudden you're taking those 2 things and applying it to your newsletter.
Well,
right?
It was like, so that was January 2015. It was my first BitDevs. I went consistently for 2 years. And by doing that for 2 years, I think that was part of the reason I was confident enough to start the newsletter. It's because I feel like I've gone to enough and talked with enough of these developers to have enough of an understanding of Bitcoin to confidently write about it and try to educate others about it. And if that meetup didn't exist in New York, who knows if this media company even exists?
Yeah, that was literally what I was just about to say. Imagine if that meetup didn't exist, right? And then conversely, imagine all the meetups that are existing and all of the products and services and businesses that are coming out of those just because it started at a meetup. Like 2 guys getting together, or one person saying, hey, you know what? I want to write about this. That's where I think, especially with the AI tooling there's no excuse from going 0 to 1 now. You should be like, now the next excuse is like do you have the consistency and discipline and grit to go from 1 to 100 or 100 to 1,000, right? And so I think guys like you are in the best position possible because you've built not only an amazing distribution engine, but you've built a trusted brand in the place. So the next product or service that you offer already has 90% of the way there. And now you don't need to go out and go hire 5 people to develop an app or 10 people to design a website or, 20 people to do sales for you. You just need one idea that can kind of tie into your audience that is incremental value add, and it's game on.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Our good friends, Parker Lewis and Drew Bonsall, are 2 of the deepest thinkers in Bitcoin. While they come from very different backgrounds, they've landed on the exact same conclusion. It's Bitcoin that matters, not crypto. This masterclass lays out why 21 million is the key breakthrough, how Bitcoin, not blockchain, creates decentralization, and why everything else will be built on Bitcoin. Understand why Bitcoin works and why nothing else does. Watch the premiere at unchained.com/TFTC. That's unchained.com/TFTC. And many people are dooming about it.
What would be the doomer comment?
Well, it's like they're going to take all the jobs.
Yeah,
which is
good. All the jobs are going to go away. Those are jobs that we probably need to go away. And then I would bet on human ingenuity. 10 out of 10 every day, twice on Sunday, I bet on human ingenuity. When your back is up against a wall, or if you're given the opportunity and the resources and the tooling, you will create something better. And you'll create jobs for 10, 20, 30, 100 people. I guarantee it. And I forget if we talked about this on the last pod, but I was thinking a lot, like if I was in high school right now, one job I would do? I would be a DoorDash delivery guy. Do you know why?
Why?
Because all you got to do is just get dinged on your phone, go pick up the food and drop it off. You don't even have to have any interaction with the person, right? With Uber, you have to potentially talk to somebody. You can't be on the phone talking to somebody because it's rude. You got somebody in the back.
People do it anyway.
Yeah, but you could listen to a podcast full blast.
Mm-hmm.
You could vibe code voice to text while DoorDash delivering, and making money on the side in high school. So I was just thinking about it. I'm like, that's probably the best job. If you needed a job to do right now before the robots come, that's like the short to medium term. Probably one of the best jobs.
That's what I was doing before this.
That's what Logan was doing before this.
There you go. May want to keep it on the side just in case, but
No, Logan, you have some job security here.
Go.
No, it's honestly, if you're not using AI yet, you're doing massive disservice to yourself. And I think that's one thing that I really realized over the last couple of months is that it is still very niche. Like, dude, if you're not on X, if you're not aware of anything, like people aren't using it. And last night we did an Easter tenderloin roast. And
nice.
My dad had this way of cooking the tenderloin, and I couldn't remember the exact details, but I went into O3 and was like, hey, cooking this tenderloin, it's 3.5 pounds. My dad had this way of doing it where you'd jack up the oven to 500 and then you'd lower it to 225. How are you aware of this type of cooking? And he was like, yes, this is the,
stop.
It's called toast and coast method. And you do it for 25 minutes or 15 minutes of 500, then put it on 225 for 45 minutes. And it was funny because my wife at the same time in parallel was trying to find it just through typical Google search. And she was complaining in the kitchen, I don't want to read 7 paragraphs and you trying to sell me something, having to click all these ads. Just tell me how to do it. And she couldn't find it. And I found it in literally 30 seconds. It just gave me the answer. I didn't have to go through any paragraphs of some cooking blog or whatever.
So here's where not my doomer take, but all those liberal arts degrees may actually pay off.
For being able to articulate
because they're going to be
thoughts.
able to go in and be being able to speak to the AI is going prompt engineering is going to be the number one requested skill. If I'm hiring somebody, for them to be able to speak, right now, I know to a degree the differences in models, but I don't know it to the best of I need to do that with O3 versus Llama versus DeepSeek versus whatever. I'm not there yet. I'm just one model or whatever. Grok's quick, easy. Let me just go ask it the question. But the fine tuning and then the temperature control and all of the different prompts. And like, I think with O3, it's got memory so that now when it's like, hey, what's my, rest in peace, my father's recipe, for this, you can do a shorter prompt, right? And then it'll recite it back.
Yeah.
Like, when did I ask you about this? Oh yeah, for Easter of the, 2024 is when you asked me about this and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, man. So like one of the things I do with my daughter, like driving her to school, is I do the voice interaction with the AI still. And it's just like, cause I want to train her to do the prompts. Cause whatever is happening in the world, especially on the education, to bring it all the way full circle, it has to change. Like, we go to a Catholic school and I'm actually meeting with this is how crazy I am, the all girls principal of where my daughter will go to school. I'm having a meeting with her just to discuss not the curriculum or the programming. It's just like the process. And I just want it to be as open as possible for them to learn these tools as quickly as possible. Like, we shouldn't be like, oh, you can't use the AI to do this. It's like, no, like, let's level up everything.
You know what it levels up specifically is the Montessori model, because the Montessori model is all about like, let individual children explore what they're interested in, sort of cater to that natural inclination towards one subject or another that they have, but it's limited in the sense that like, you have only X amount of teachers in the room to be able to nurture that individual sort of interest that each child has. And now with AI tools, you can just literally give them the software to accelerate that sort of interest that they have.
Totally. Man, that's why I'm going to just continue to be nice to my kids, continue to be present, because they're going to be smarter than me by the age of 10. They're going to be running. That's why I also want to stay up to speed on all these tools as much as possible, because they're going to be running around us on all of this stuff.
Like our oldest, he just turned 5, and like this is the year where I'm like, all right, it's time to lean. We tried I tried to do like reading in 100 lessons last summer. His attention span just wasn't there. But like in the last 2 weeks, he's been writing a lot more and reading. And I'm like, oh, you know how to read now. Dude, I need to like, and so now I'm like, all right, now it's probably like a better opportunity to step in and be like, all right, let's actually learn how to read properly and help accelerate.
You see that right there? I think kids are just born geniuses. All kids. There's not like, oh, this kid's really talented and this kid's not. All kids are geniuses in general. I fundamentally believe that. And I believe that just being consistently there and supportive, it all of a sudden clicks. Whether it's your son reading and then you're like, whoa, you just learned how to read.
He's writing.
Or now he's writing.
Writing words.
My daughter.
Like yesterday he came up to me, he's like, Daddy, look, attic. And he wrote it. I was like, what?
Attic?
Yeah. I was like, what?
Attic. Gun to your head. Logan, how do you spell it?
I can't spell anything.
No, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, 100%. And like, you going back to this basketball story, I'll share this video with you when we're done here. But like, these girls are in kindergarten. I mean, they could barely like chew bubble gum, right? And by the end of the season, my daughter had stolen the basketball one time, dribbled it all the way to the other end. I mean, bricked the layup, but whatever. It was like one of the most proudest moments I've ever had in my life, just to experience that. And so I think creating these environments and creating the tools around them to have them just adapt and let their creativity and ingenuity flourish will just be so rad to see.
It's exciting no dooming, no black pilling. All right. It's chaotic. It's unnerving, but it's ultimately beneficial, I think.
So Peter Thiel, who I think very highly of, I think he says it well, like we shouldn't ever be all the way on the doomer side, and you shouldn't be like super, super optimistic as well, because both are in the same, like you're going to lose on both ends. So I'm like center right in terms of the optimism side here, because for brains like mine that are more process driven, a little bit less, but like now I have all the tooling to actually get out my thoughts and ideas in a systematic way. I look at the glass half full, like for the next 50, I'm going to live, knock on wood, to 160. So the next like 120 plus years, we're going to be rocking.
I like that. I like that optimism.
The, heck yeah, man.
You're gonna live to see your great grandkids. This is what we should all strive for.
So I forget sorry if I'm repeating myself, but 160 is a number because I'm a little north of 40 years old. So my first quarter of my life is over. I got 4 young kids, 6, 4, 3, and 2. And I want to, this next 40 to 80 is build some quality businesses. But most importantly, like, what's more scarce than Bitcoin? Time. Okay. What's more scarce than time? Time with our kids. Because no matter what, there's a shelf life there. And Matt, right now, not to freak you out, but with your son, the 5-year-old, you have probably 12 more years with him in the house. 12 years. Dude, 12 years goes like that.
I know.
You've been Bitcoin 12 years or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or 10 years now. And so it's like, oh man, that's why the forcing function of like coaching all the kids, like, unless it's the rarest of rare occasions, like always primary blocks of all the kids' plays, all of them just to attend. Because a lot of these parents, like, you look at them, they look successful on paper, like, hey, I made $100 million, blah, blah. But I'd give up all of it just so I could go see my kid in the Christmas play. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm going to go see my kid in the Christmas play and I'll make like 1/100th of that. And that's a winning trade for me.
It totally is. Now you're like, no, mental note, like, I better make it to practice. I've missed one practice this season.
And by the way, it's not the like, and let me back up, because it's like, it easily can come off as like, oh, it's a reprioritization or realization because I'm a little older and I have young kids, and looking up to a lot of successful people and then asking them, do you have any regrets? Or what are those other things? And it always comes back to their kids, and it always comes back to spending time with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I want to be in the regret minimization business. How do I minimize as much of my regrets? Well, if I elongate my time period out so that like that 80 to 120 or like 60 to 120 period is like when I'm like really accelerating in the business, because 90% of my live-in time with my kids is over by the time they're like 17, 18 years old. So the time to build like multi big businesses will be later in life. Right now it's kid prioritization.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got another one on the way too.
That's amazing, man.
I know.
Congrats.
I'm trying to catch up. You know.
So your boys are 5 and 3, 2?
Almost 3. Yeah.
3. Yeah. And you see, you spaced them out perfectly, because the oldest will be sweet to the newborn, and they'll both be sweet. Don't get me wrong, but like the middle one will have a little bit of like, wait, what's going on here? But dude, it is, now you're in like, not man-to-man defense is over.
It's over.
Although you're going to be around a lot of families, so that's massive.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's exciting. We'll see if we can catch up to you. I hope we can. But no, it's just great, and it's fun, especially like, and it is sort of unnerving having children now, while like it has become more and more obvious by the day that we're at this crazy inflection point in human history. We have Bitcoin coming to market, and it's going to become the global reserve currency. You have AI, which is creating this insane sort of acceleration of human capacity by leveraging technology. Like, I thought the internet, like being a 90s baby and living in both the analog world, where I remember when caller ID was first launched and thinking that was revolutionary, to AOL, then eventually everything.
Do you remember Star 69?
Yeah. Yeah.
Logan definitely does not. But
do you know what Star 69 is, Logan? Oh my God.
He's probably like, it's some like pornographic thing, but no. Star 69 was to recite the last person that called you.
Yeah. So like someone would call you and you didn't have caller ID, you missed the call. You would hit Star 69 and it would give you the number that just called you. And so you'd know what call you missed. But like, that was the technology.
Back in the day, you'd be like, oh,
damn,
that girl that called me, please. And then just start.
The kids will never know what Star 69 was.
Nope. No. They will not know what Star 69 was.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
But like, again, like that, like from Star 69 to caller ID to the internet, like I thought that was, man, like this AI stuff is just on a whole nother level.
So if I can soft leak something, and you already know this, but we're going to do this in Nashville. Imagine if September 19th to the 20th, it's happening. It's going to be the convergence between Bitcoin, AI, and energy. And hopefully you're there because we're going to have an awesome side stage for you guys. That's going to be like just massive. We're going to have 21 speakers because this convergence and collision between those three areas, I want to bring some of the best minds in the world and have them deliver like a base TED talk on how those areas can impact, humanity. And it'll be at the Fisher Center for Performing Arts. So it's this like beautiful theater. And I feel like we need to have people showcase what the world can be, because I want to imagine, like, for my daughter in 12 years, what does it look like when she's going to college? I hope, and I know it won't be the same as it is today. So what is that? One thing I always think about is like our phones right now. I don't have my phone on me or it's over there, but what if all these phones just go away? I mean, I'm not all about putting a chip. I'm not saying we're getting chipped, but what if there's some other thing or form factor we're not even just thinking about? That's why I always go back to voice. Voice is so much more efficient than type. So, we're always looking down at the screens and then typing for the most part, some voice with the AirPods and so on. And this is where, like, complete tangent, but like Tim Cook, great guy, sure, whatever. Elon should just buy Apple, or Apple should just buy Tesla and put Elon as CEO, because that whole place needs just like radical like overhaul for innovation. The fact that they lost on this AI race, and it's over because there's no catching up unless they acquire. They need to acquire Grok and Elon and so on just to be shot in there and to take over. But it's a complete tangent on that end.
No, it's like to think they had like a 10-year head start with Siri. Like they should have like. Dude,
Siri bothers me to no end, because everything I do, or not everything, majority of what I do now is voice to text. And it's so bad. It is so bad. Like now I use these apps like Super Whisper and these other intermediaries to do the voice dictation stuff, rather than going native to what Apple should be best at is that.
Yeah. The only thing I use Siri for is setting timers. Siri, set a 20-minute timer, please.
Yeah, exactly.
She's good at that.
What's really interesting is like the manners, like I was just on a call with Rob Warren, who's been crushing it at the park on the research and education side. And we were doing some prompts and some other things. And he was like, please do this. Please do that. It's actually good. Like, we should be kind to the AIs. I always think about that.
I always say please and thank you.
Yeah.
In real life and to the AI.
Yeah. Because you never know.
Good manners are just a good thing to live by, know?
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And that's where, I'm so bullish on the future.
Well, I am too, but going back to what I said earlier, like it is astonishing to me having conversations with other people. Like I ran into a friend from the boys' school. He works downtown too, and we ran into each other on the street. And I was saying like we need to catch up and get drinks. And and he's like private equity, like in high finance, like very successful. And like he's like, I was like, I don't have your cell phone number. Pulled out both had iPhones, pulled it out, and I did did the bump exchange. He was like astonished. He was like, "What? You can do this?" And he was like, "Yeah, I just need my tech friend to show me." And I was like, that was like one indicator, and then others like just like talking to people about how I'm leveraging AI, and they're like, "Oh, like how do I do this?" Like it seems pretty complex. It's like you literally just download an app and start. Point being, there's still a very small circle or bubble of people leveraging this stuff globally. And I think it's important, particularly if you understand the gravity of this inflection point and this phase change in productivity that's coming, that you get people together to explain this to them. So whether it's the event in Nashville in September or what we're doing here in a couple weeks with the Texas Energy and Mining Summit, like we need, again, these physical spaces of this idea exchange for people to become aware of this.
Totally. And then showcasing, like, that's why I love Bitcoin so much, because it's all about proof of work and like showcasing the real world application of it all. And like, it's going to be phenomenal. And I do think this is like that golden period where we're still so early, but the tooling is good enough that you can build like a quick business and all of a sudden get like 1K MRR, 10K MRR, or like a guy like you is probably going to crack the nut and be like, did I just build a better business than what I built for the last 10 years with TFTC in one? It's like
In
a
one
joke, like where it's
vibe coding
like
session.
one vibe coding session and I built like a 10x TFTC media company. But there's a non-zero chance that that's going to happen. And that's the thing, is like taking a lot of reps and taking a lot of pulls at this. So like on the AI side, like if you have 100 people, you're going to download whatever operator or whatever tool. They're going to put some prompts in, and then it's not going to work. And then all of a sudden 70 of those people was like, AI doesn't work right now. And they're going to go away. And 30 will stay. And they'll go for the second time. And I'll be like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it didn't really work here. And then another 50% will just like roll off. And the 15 will stay. And it'll probably like whittle down to like 3 or 5 that stick with it and then continue to test and build. And they're going to be the ones that are just like crushing it, absolutely crushing it.
Yeah. And it's only getting better too. Like by the week at this point.
Dude, especially on San Jacinto Day. Is that how you pronounce it? Jacinto?
Jacinto Day.
Jacinto Day.
Texas independence.
Texas
from Mexico.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you.
The tooling for true individual independence and sovereignty. Yeah, there's no better day than today.
No.
That's for sure. To start.
No. That's like, and going back to the kids conversation too, we had my wife's sister, my brother-in-law and their kids in town last week. They were on spring break and they came
Bills
to
fans?
stay with us, the Bills fans. And I was showing them, I Lego-fied the kids and they were mind blown by it. Like we did it Tuesday night.
I love that.
We were just hanging out in the back porch. It was a get together, kids. Took a picture of them, turned them into Legos, and they were like nuts. And like literally every third question for my oldest over the last week is like, turn that into a Lego. And like, but like that is an example of like they see like that is their star 69 is like, oh, I can Legofy anything I want.
See, that's where I haven't done this yet, but I'm thinking through it, is like getting an old iPad and then deleting all the apps and only figuring out a way just to make it only voice. And then having one of the models there so that they can just practice and play around with it.
Yeah, and you can give it a master prompt like you're interacting with a 5-year-old.
That's a really good point.
Do not talk about anything that I wouldn't be comfortable having my 5-year-old talk about. Like,
and here are my values, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea to do. I know that master prompt and fine tuning is another level of stuff. And then that's the other thing on the Bitcoin side, where I don't think, and I have not cracked this code, but was it you, maybe Tony or Anthony, that told me this? Like, you there should be a game where you get one operator and be like, hey, you have 10,000 sats. Your goal is to now make this into a Bitcoin. Don't kill anyone. Do it very legally based on the U.S. laws, ethically based on this code of ethics, and go and make this into one Bitcoin. And then it's like, like TaskRabbit's this and whatever that, because remember that red pin or
the paperclip.
Red paperclip.
The paperclip trade. How can I turn a paperclip into $1 million?
And didn't he do it?
He did it.
It turned into $1 million. Yeah. So like doing the red paperclip idea and empowering an AI agent to do the red paperclip would be really freaking cool.
And that's like an idea that probably will only work in the early days. Like once you do it once, like it gets arbitraged out.
Totally. There you go. There's a one Bitcoin idea right there for you.
Because there's only 21 million Bitcoin. You can't do it 21 million times. Or you could, but I don't think you're going to get.
This goes back to the point.
Like that website where it's a $1 million website.
What, Logan?
No, the $1 million homepage
website where he sold like 1 pixel for $1.
No,
a million pixels. You can only do that once.
Yeah.
100%. And this is why I do think we're so early. And you bring up this really good point, which is like in the history of world, like having these two tectonic shifts in terms of the money and the tech. Like we have this new money protocol, and we have this entirely new tech frontier, both colliding at the same time. What the heck is it? Even like with these AI models, how they're getting better and better and better every week, it seems. Dude, like half of me wants to be like, guys, I need to take a 6-month break and just like freaking vibe code and just do stuff. But
You
I'm
want
having
to,
too much fun with Bitcoin
you know
Park.
what excites me most these days right now?
Tell me.
It's the thought of getting a desk with 2 monitors just so I can do all this. Like this is, you freaks watching this right now. This is my desk. I sit here with my laptop on my lap, and it feels very confounding in the sense that like I only have this. It's a great comfortable chair, but not conducive for the amount of productivity that I imagine I could have at a desk with 2 monitors and just being able to like go back and forth.
So I love, let's go down the productivity rabbit hole because I love it. I would, for me at least, the 1 monitor is the most optimal. I've tried the 2. I actually even tried 3 monitors. It's just, it doesn't work for me because like every single which way I'm always looking, where's my mouse? Where's this thing? And at the end of the day, I just need to concentrate on one screen to do one task. Now with that point, it's like, this was pre-AI. Post-AI, you could have like operator in one window open, and it's just like, or Manus or whatever it is, and they're running, and you could kind of check in, but it still also takes away from my focus a bit. But yeah, like that'll be a really cool.
Have you been playing with Manus?
I just got the invite or the
Access.
I haven't played with it as much. Have you?
I've played with it a few times. It's pretty robust.
So it competes with Operator?
I haven't tried Operator, but I saw Manus. But yeah, this whole agentic framework where you can give it a prompt and it can do pretty complex tasks. Like first thing I had to do is make me a Bitcoin dashboard based off of stats on Unchained, and sentiment sats, like where's the Mayer multiple, where's all this, like what's the price, what's the short-term holder ratio, whatever it may be. And
sorry to cut you off, but there was my one son got this like a small Lego set for Easter yesterday. And then my other son, the 2-year-old, took one of the monkeys and walked outside with it in this, like my father-in-law's like bigger grassy area. And then I guess dropped it. And my son was like super upset. And I'm like, what if we had a drone take a picture of the field and then was like, hey, you're like an expert, you got an expert lens.
You're an expert Where's Waldo player. Exactly.
Where's the monkey here? And then you're like, okay, if it worked, because I didn't test it out, but if that worked, which you'd think it should, then imagine you like take a drone all the way out on the beach, right? And be like, hey, do you see any gold or rings or silver or anything? And it's like, yeah, this coordinate. You know those on the beach where
the metal detectors?
It's like the better version of a metal detector.
Yeah, you're going to have the Luddite metal detectors.
The Luddite metal detector.
Create a union to prevent you from flying the gold finding drone over their operations.
Dude, it's just like my weird brain is like perfect for this world. Oh man.
Well, we need more. And it is back to your point about productivity and focus. That's like one thing that is going to be important to all this, because there's so many cool ideas you can go after. It's like, what is one thing that you can focus on to make your business better? Like we've been using AI here at TFTC for better part of 6 months, just refining our process of like,
that's awesome.
Models that we're using, prompts that we're giving them, how we're doing everything.
We need to do more and better, especially at Bitcoin Park. We are, I agree, focus. Like, so you have the newsletter, you have the website, you have the podcast. Anything else I'm missing?
Yes. I mean, podcast is audio, video. So
audio,
YouTube,
video, yeah.
X.
See, that's so cool because like now you're producing all this unique content, especially on audio and video. I can only imagine all the ways you guys are gonna be able to like cut that up and then repurpose that.
Mm-hmm. That's like,
and all the catalog of all the history you've had from,
Well, that's what we do on the video. Like there's an AI tool called Opus Clips. And we just feed it our backlog catalog of YouTube, and any new episode we produce gets fed into it, and
it presents you new clips.
Presents clips. You can connect it to Reddit and Google Trends, and so like if something's trending and we've talked about it in the past, like here's a few clips of something that's trending
That's
right now.
awesome.
And
I'm making a note of that.
so you can pull the trending clips and resurface old content that's relevant to something being talked about today. It's insane, like what you're going to be able to do. And then we take in the
That's so
newsletter, I'm not
smart.
sure if you've noticed this, but we've added a section which basically allows us to create this feedback loop of if you're reading the newsletter, you should be listening to the podcast too. So we'll take a section, multiple sections of each podcast episode. Just we have a prompt that's like a description of a juicy section, like have it as a section of the newsletter with a link back to the podcast. And
See, that kind of iteration, constant iteration, that's like a little bit lower lift, but high creative thought is going to be the way. I mean, not even going to be, it is the way. Like you're already creating all this amazing content because it gives you energy and you love to do it. Then you're like, all right, now all these different tooling, let me just fine tune, especially with a great talent like Logan and others. It's like, hey, we can add in a tool like an Opus Clips. And then that Google Trends idea is just so dang smart. And so I think that's going to be the way most of us think about, or at least I'm thinking about on the research and education side, because one of the areas we don't have enough of are like you, Marty. I think in the Bitcoin world where we're struggling a little bit is there's still so much noise on crypto and altcoins and blockchains and stable coins. And it kind of misses the Bitcoin signal about separating money from state and really about freedom money. Okay. So that's where at Bitcoin Park, like we're actually going to partner with Kathy and the ARK Invest team. We're going to do quarterly research reports around bigger topics and dive much deeper into some of these topics. And hopefully that ties into some of the stuff that you're doing, some of the other summits that we're doing, the other meetups that we're doing, and all of this other stuff to get that signal across institutional investors, family offices, high net worth individuals, small business owners, and the like, because the more signal that we can continuously produce in the ways that they consume information, the better it is. So what I would recommend to anyone out there is like, you think you got an itch of something in Bitcoin, the tooling is out there just to produce it and get it out there. And I would just start now because we need more Bitcoin signal.
yeah, and similar to the stat you'll hear about podcasting is similar to what you said about people testing the AI tools. Start with 100, gets cut to 70, 30,
Yep.
10 stick around. Like it's not intuitive. It is nation technology, but keep iterating, playing with it. You'll have like a breakthrough.
Totally.
Like our one prompt that produces that section of the newsletter, I'm pretty sure it's like 15 pages long now. It's like a master prompt,
Whoa.
making
Cool.
sure like it talks in our voice and picks the right section and doesn't talk about crypto, but talks about Bitcoin and focuses on certain things. So you have to like create this master prompt.
Is that part of the Bitcoin brief?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. That
Yeah.
email is so good. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the other thing I think, being focused on Bitcoin, you'll win in the long term. Whereas everybody was like, still so broad in all of the things, you're just joining the entire crowd and your entire herd. So
Yeah. And that's, talk about strategic advantage and having that advantage for a certain amount of time. People are still very confused. Like we see it all the time at 1031, talking to like, why should I invest in a fund that's focused only on Bitcoin and not diversified across broader crypto? And there's still that human inclination and of, I'm not quite sure, so I think I should diversify, but people really feel like the concentration of focus and investment around Bitcoin is something that some people see it as like, oh, that seems risky. But like to me, it's like the least risky thing you can be doing.
Totally. I think the more people still think their common denominator or their scoreboard is measured in dollars or fiat, it's harder to convince somebody to be like, hey, you should focus on a Sats flow, which you guys really famously coined, which I love, or a Bitcoin denominated focused fund. Like for me, other than investing everything I got in Bitcoin Park, if I had extra capital, it would be invested in a fund like 1031 for sure, hands down. Not to shill you guys, but like, why, dude? my hurdle rate is Bitcoin. That is the hurdle rate. So when and I was talking with a family friend who's like did very well in a big exit. And he was complaining about his wealth advisor. And he was like, yeah, I was asking him like, why aren't we putting like a couple million into Bitcoin? I'm like, oh, let me answer you to that question, Charlie. He doesn't get compensated on any Bitcoin related product, you know? And so he's like, I know this fucking guy. I'm like, yeah, just look at the last 15 years in terms of what that hurdle rate should be. And so the better question for guys like you, or these investors probably should be asking is like, how do you outperform Bitcoin? Like, okay, I have $1 million I want to give to you, or I want to buy Bitcoin with it. How do I make that investment better than just investing in the asset? And that's the best question because it makes you guys better. It makes the market better. It makes the investor better. It makes everybody better because they treat going all the way back to one of the first things we were talking about, the opportunity cost of, oh, I just diversified across all these altcoins and shitcoins and whatever. And then I had 2% allocation in Bitcoin, and that 2% saved my ass because it outperformed all this other 98% garbage.
Yeah.
You know,
If it was 100%, I would have outperformed Bitcoin potentially. It's fun. Like, again, it's a fun time to be at this intersection. I think I'm more convinced than ever that this intersection of like AI and Bitcoin, whether that's on the energy side, agents using Bitcoin as currency, or simply Bitcoin businesses, founders, teams, I mean, we're already seeing like Anthony and Mark's are a 2-man team building probably one of the coolest products.
totally.
Very niche, but when you understand the profundity of the privacy assurances that come with Open Secret, it's like, oh, every app should be using this, and they're
Totally
building it out at a insane pace with 2 people.
I know.
And that is an example of
You
AI.
guys are investors in them?
Yes.
Sick.
AI accelerating founders to build. And from an opportunity cost, like how do you outperform Bitcoin? Like that's what we look for. Like how can you do more with less? Because the less people you have to hire, the less money you're spending on headcount as opposed to putting into Bitcoin and building a product at the same, if not an increased pace, that's going to get to market, get to revenue faster, get to profitability faster, and allow you to stack more Bitcoin in your treasury. And the idea is that the founders can do that efficient, do it fast,
Totally.
do it profitably.
Like, and you guys help with that mindset. I mean, most founders, I want to say are Bitcoiners that you're probably investing in, but even if they're like amazing founders and they are indirectly involved in Bitcoin, at least you guys are bringing that expertise on the treasury management side, on the discipline side. Whereas a lot of these other folks are like looking at the capital and just being like, we got to get our treasury management is like deploying it in maybe human capital or like other areas where it's those people like I had Will Reeves on. We just did this it actually should be published on Thursday, the Bitcoin Brainstorm. We had Matt Cole from Strive, Will and Odell on. And Will is such a good operator. He's got like a good head of discipline around increasing his Bitcoin balance sheet as it relates to Fold, the publicly traded company, while building a great profitable business. And you guys invested in Fold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay. And that just is like, those are the next wave of founders that we're both very fortunate to be in our circles of just being able to learn from.
Yeah. I feel like you're in that circle too. You're doing here at Bitcoin Park, like the events with everything going on, like you're again applying this AI thing for a Bitcoin company, the way you're leveraging on the back end to create efficiencies on the operations side, to basically make sure that you can do more with your time to make the business even better. Like it's happening. Like when you talk about the intersection of Bitcoin and crypto, Bitcoin and AI, I think it's threefold. The energy, AI agents will use Bitcoin, but like using AI to build Bitcoin businesses as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Yeah. And I think those that you mentioned your 15-page prompt doc, the human in the loop aspect and sticking to principles is going to be massive because like we're going to have this shiny object syndrome that's going to be, just out there. There's going to just be something new. And I love the kids and the wife are such a great forcing function because 8 hours of sleep, the kids' time in the morning plus the kids' time, practice, nap, bedtime, bath time, dinner time, reading time, play time. And so, okay, remove all that. Then you got probably like 6 to 8 hours of good productive work in the middle of that. How do you maximize that time? But then how do you like elongate that time while you're sleeping or while you're playing? So like those agentic agents, other teams of humans potentially working in different time zones for you on the specific missions that you're looking to do. Like, knock on wood, we're going to host this inaugural Texas Energy and Mining Summit. And I'm super thankful that you're participating in it. We got some of the best Bitcoin mining operators and service providers in the world that are going to be here, and continuing to build off of that kind of momentum will compound for Bitcoin Park members, Bitcoin Park. They're just Bitcoin community in general. And then I think you're going to see like guys like Tony or Anthony and Marks bringing in their AI expertise, and then other folks from the energy side coming in. And then there's a world where the word Bitcoin, especially as it relates to Bitcoin Park, just goes away. And it's just going to be called the Park, like Park Nashville or Park Austin. And it's going to just be this convergence or collision location of all the intersection of all these amazing, like AI, Bitcoin, and energy are the best entrepreneurs, developers, engineers in the world to come work, learn, collaborate, and build.
Yeah. Idea for one of the events
Please.
here at Park Austin. We've got cultural concentration down here too. We had the mothership down the street. We should get a comedian to come.
Dude, I'm game for that.
To talk to one of the, like, not only do we have the intersection of Bitcoin, AI, energy, but we also got culture down here.
So open mic from Toonster is going to do a value for value music event here as well as in Nashville. I think it's Nick or Mitch that goes to there's like an open mic night over there at the comedy. What's the guy that does the Tony?
Yeah.
And it's like open mic, right?
Yeah. Or
it's like, a lottery.
It's a lottery open mic. It's like, yeah.
So one of my weird goals is just to do an open mic in general. I mean, I would get booed like none other because I'm not that funny, but like, I just want to do it and just knock it off the bucket list. I feel like we should do like,
you don't have to start with Kill Tony. That's an intense one.
No. I would definitely not. See, I don't know how you guys do it, especially online. I'm like so fragile that like one bad comment, I'm like, okay, I'm done here. Like if I'm doing an open mic and someone made fun of me, I'm like, okay, guys, you're right. I'm done here. But it would be fun to like test because like it helps with your public speaking and it helps. Yeah, it would be fun. And then maybe we get a couple good, because you've had a bunch of comedians, right, on your pod?
Yeah. There may be another big one coming on soon.
Oh, cool. This is
not to be
J and then R?
No, maybe. Joe, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Somebody in that
He's definitely listening.
Somebody in that sphere, though, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but there's been some contact from another park member to a big comedian to come on the show.
Oh, so that's all. See, this is where, again, I think Bitcoin is this just gravitational force where those folks are interested and they want to get to a guy like you. And it's just natural that they're like, okay, yeah, let's sit down. And then vice versa. It's like, oh, let me bring my, what did Portnoy call you? Like my
Bitcoin Marty.
Bitcoin Marty. Yeah. And you're like just the Bitcoin Marty guy, right? And you come on and you're their guy. And then all of a sudden you're just then their friend. And then they're just like, wait, yeah, we're all just friends. And Bitcoin's just like the money we use. That's just money.
Yeah.
And we just roll.
Money Marty.
Money Marty.
Maybe one day, Logan.
Money Marty.
Rod.
Dude.
Where can people find out more about Texas Energy and Mining Summit? Is there any tickets left?
So no ticket. Well, just join the wait list on the meetup page. So bitcoinpark.com/Austin. We have, I think now 2,500 or 2,600 people on that that meetup page. Go scroll to the event, the Texas Energy and Mining Summit, join that wait list. We're all going through, and then pulling people off the wait list. I think there's going to be a few tickets still remaining for this next couple of weeks. Really, I'm again honored that you're going to be participating again. I think this is like your 4th energy and mining summit in general.
Yeah, I've been to all 3 in Nashville so far.
So, and I don't want to boost Parker or Will Cole's ego and Parker Lewis, but I do think with the enthusiasm and what you guys are building in Texas that I'm going to take a lot of pride and responsibility, not only in this first one, but I think I want to make this really special for decades to come and make this the place where if you're in this world, you'll want to come once a week or one time a year to Austin, Texas to participate in this. So this will be our first one. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to have probably 150 investors, policymakers, energy producers, mining operators, and service providers here. And we'll see how it goes.
I can't wait. May 6th and 7th here in Austin, Texas. It's going to be a big week. We got Bitcoin plus.
Yeah, at the tail end, of the week will be awesome. And then the telehash on Monday, by the way. You know that telehash?
I've been manifesting a block with this, so I'll point some hash at the telehash. We're going to mine another block in the telehash.
Can you believe we mined a freaking block live?
I can. You can manifest. We talked about this. Quantum, Logan's theoretical physicist family member's not a fan of it, I don't believe, but you can manifest mine blocks. We're going to do it with this.
I agree. So should we have all like the 100, 200 people that are at the telehash just stare?
Yeah, I've already get into the room and stare at the chip.
Okay.
To produce a hash below the difficulty target. It's going to happen.
That'd be awesome.
Tune into the telehash.
Thank you, man. You're the man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You're
it.
the man. I love these conversations. And I learn a lot too. Productivity
100%.
tools we should be using. How to be a better father. It's
I learn a lot from you, and it's the best. And I'll maybe say one more thing. It's like people are like, oh, I need to hit this level of being an entrepreneur before I have kids, or I can't be an entrepreneur because I have kids. I hope we can dispel that rumor or dispel that myth, because I think you can have it all. It's just, you need to figure out what's most important. And I think we both do a really good job of saying no to a lot of things, even though they may seem like very attractive at the time. But for this short period of time, again, what's scarcer than Bitcoin is our time. What's scarcer than our time is our time with our kids. So it's like, how do you, in this window, even though it's like, man, I really should go to that dinner party, or should go to that event, or I should go to this. And it's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to say, let's spend the time here.
Yeah. I'm going to go do tubby time.
Let's go.
Tubby time's a great time. Peace and love, freaks. Freaks, thank you for listening to the show. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please make sure you subscribe, rate, review the show. It helps us out a lot. And also, if you like these conversations, I've come to realize that many people listen to the podcast. They don't know we have another sort of layer of this media company. We have the newsletter, the Bitcoin Brief. Go to tftc.io. Make sure you subscribe there. A lot of the topics that are discussed on this podcast, I write about 5 days a week in the newsletter. We also have the TFTC Elite tier. If you sign up for that, become a member. We have a private Discord server for the elite freaks out there, where we're dropping ad-free versions of this show and having discussions about everything we talk about a day early. Logan wanted me to make sure, if you want to get the show a day early, become a TFTC Elite member. You will get that. We have our Discord server. Right now it's conversation between myself and TFTC Elite tier members, but we're going to expand that. We'll probably do closed Q&As with people in the industry. I may be doing Macro Mondays. So join us. Go to tftc.io. Subscribe. Find the button in the top right corner of the website. Become a TFTC Elite member. Thank you for joining us. Okay.